Alright, welcome everyone to another tutorial. This is Code Slice, and yeah, so we are looking at the CRUD method with Kivy, and so far we've done 4 tutorials, and now we're doing part 5. So let's just recap what we've done so far. So we have created a layout. We've created our layout of our app, which mainly consists of 2 screens and some widgets on it. And then in part 2 we covered regarding inserting data into the JSON file, it was quite simple. It was quite simple, to load the data into it and everything, inserting the data. And then in the third one we looked at loading the data that is saved into buttons, so which means when you open your app, you are able to see all the buttons with the data that you saved. And then last time we looked at reading the information that is stored in your JSON file. So let's continue on with today. So we're going to be looking at how to update JSON data, basically. So what I mean here is, let me just run the app so we can visualize. Okay, so we have our app. Alright, so last time we covered how to read the information that is stored in our JSON file by pressing read, and then you press whatever button to view the information that is in the JSON file. As you can see, if you want to read this button's date information, this button's information, and so forth. So that's how it works. Okay. So what we're going to be looking at now is how to update the information that's already saved. That's what we're going to be looking at. So how do we go about doing that? So it's quite simple. I trust that after this tutorial you will understand very well how to work with JSON in terms of updating information. And if there's any questions or something that's not very clear, please do leave me a comment. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing will be, of course, to create a function, an update function. So let's go on and create that. So update. Okay. And the first thing we wanna do is we wanna access our information from the JSON file. So JSON store storage. So that is our JSON file where all our information is there. Okay. And the button we are working with a toggle button. So similar to the previous buttons, we'll have a state down and a state a normal state. So let's go on and open our Kivy file. So we have our update button here, toggle button here. So okay, and we already gave it an ID, so which is good. So let's just go on and create our if statement. So if self IDS title input, what am I saying? If we want the state, right? So it's the state. So if self IDS updates state down. So what this simply means is that if this toggle button is pressed, what must happen? That is what this means. if the toggle button is pressed, what must happen. So when the update button is pressed, what we want to do is we want to change some things. So for one, we want to change, usually our text inputs are read only, so we want to change that. We would like to make only the title input to read only, and then so that we can be able to at least edit the body, so which means the body will make it false in terms of read only. So let's just copy this to save time. Yeah, so let's make this false. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we want to do. Okay, so let's go on and visualize what we have so far. So let's create a function here. Let's go function call. So on press root update. Okay, let's go on and run that. Okay, so we already know when you press read only, right? You cannot type into your text inputs. You can't, as you can see, I'm typing but nothing is, because it's read only. But suppose we want to edit, right? So we're going to say update, and then the top one will still be read only. As you can see, nothing is being entered, but this one we can update. That is what I was doing just now. So this one is set to false, so which means we can edit, and this one we are not able to edit. And the reason for this is because we will only edit the notes part and not the heading or the key from the JSON file. Yes, of course you can change those things depending on how you want your app to be like. So let's go on and continue. Okay, alright, so something else that we also want to do here is, let's put another if statement, and for this one we will check if there's any information already in the text input. So we're going to say if self IDS title input in self store, right? So what this means, if we already have in the title input, right, actually dot text here. So in the title input, if we already have text in it, and that text is in our JSON file, what we can do is we can go on ahead and start editing the information. That's what we're basically saying here. Let's just indent this. Yeah, so we can go on and edit the information. Yes. Yeah, so let's go on and also see what else we can put here. Okay, so yeah, so everything is okay so far. Everything's okay. So let's go on now and put a hint text when the button is pressed down, just to indicate to the to whoever's using the app that okay, now they can finally start editing. So we can say self IDS title input hint text. select note to update. Okay, it's pretty much straightforward for now. Let's just fix this. Yeah, so let's go and look what we have so far. Okay, so when we press let me just move this here. Okay, so what we're saying here is that when we press update, the first thing that happens is that we check if what is in the text, the title here, the title input, we check if it's already in our JSON storage. If it is there, then what's going to happen is that the title input is going to become read only, and then the body is going to become false, so which means we can edit. And then of course, if there's nothing here, then there's going to be a hint text which says select note to update. Alright, so let's go ahead and try and test it out. Yeah, as you can see, that's exactly what happened. Once again, you can't really update, put in any title, but you can edit here. Yes, so which is good so far. Okay, which is good so far. So let's go on now and complete our update function. So now we're going to else, right? Else. So else here meaning if the title input text is not found in our storage, what do we want to do? What we want to do is we want to put a hint text, basically self IDS, right, title, title input, hint text. Yeah, so that's what we want to do. We want to put a hint text, and this hint text will just explain. So press let's see, press on the button to yeah. Okay, that's okay. And then of course we also have our this one as well, else. And what do we do here? Okay, so this if here is when the button is pressed down, but what happens when you press the update button again? So that's where now the magic needs to happen. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take that data which now we have typed or we have put in, and then we want to save it into our JSON file. How do we go about do that? So in JSON language, we use put to put something in. If you want to insert data, you use put. Alright, so which means we're going to say self store, right, which is our JSON storage here, and then we're going to say put, so meaning we're putting information. Alright, and what information are we putting in? So we are going to put the information that you have typed. Yes, and the first thing, of course, in the JSON file we have the key. So the key in this case, it will always be your title input. Basically, it will be the key which will help us find the information. So we're going to put the key here. So self IDS title input, which is the key. Alright, so we put the key first. I keep forgetting saying text. It's very important. Text. Okay, and then the data that you punched in, you punched it into your body input, right? Your body input. Let me just do this. So you're gonna type the information in your body input. Alright, so that's where your contents are. So you wanna save everything that is typed there alongside the key. So how do you do that? So you just reference it as well. So you're gonna save value. Remember, when it comes to JSON file, there's the key and then there's the value. Alright, so you have to indicate that you're saving it to the value. So you can say value 1. Alright, and then you can then put the text that you want there, which is the body input text. Let's make this a bit bigger. Yeah, self-IDs body input text. Okay, yeah, and that's how you go about putting in the information. Alright, so let's just open the JSON file. Just to explain a bit better. Okay, so what we're doing here, right? So we are putting data into our JSON file. This is our JSON file. All right. So when you put data, you have to firstly indicate the key where that data is that you want to put. All right. So the key in this case will be our title input. All right. And then the value, now you have to put where you want to put the value, where exactly. So in this case we want to put it at value 1, which is here. Yeah, so we want to put it here. So that's why we're saying value 1 is equal to the body input. Yeah, so let's go on and look at that. I'm hoping there was no typo here. It was okay, let's see. Okay. Alright, so we have here our YouTube button that we've pressed, and as you can see, in the YouTube button there's the title, and then there's the body, right? This is a tutorial. So let's suppose we want to update this. What do? We press update, right? And then we can start updating it. This is a tutorial, and you must subscribe. Yeah, so right, and then what do? We're gonna say update again, and then now it should be saved. Let's see if it's really saved. As you can see, our JSON file is also updated. And yeah, and you can also see when you go back to the button, the information is updated. So you can go on and update any other button. Let's update this one, coder. My name is blah blah blah. Maybe let's say true. Yeah, update. Yeah, so you can see this is the first information we updated, and this is the second information we updated. Yeah, so yes, that is how you go about updating. Maybe something we would also want to do is, after you update, right, maybe we want to make this now read only again, so that you don't continue typing things in there which that won't be saved or anything like that. So what we can do is, let's just copy this. Remove indentation, and then let's say true. Yeah, like that. Alright, then this is it for our tutorial for today. Please remember to subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if there's anything that's not clear and I will definitely cover it in future tutorials. Until next time, take care.